Let's see the last time I got a YouTube notification.
Hoot and hell. Says 4 on my end.
I got ones at 12:14. I got a YouTube notification for another channel. Huh. I'm not seeing any notifications. Wow, man. Bro, how am I supposed to do this without my audience knowing that I'm live?
Iron Lunds McGee. I have not gotten any notification since yesterday's log in BS.
Yeah. No, I'm shut down again for some reason. Whatever.
I'm back.
You're back?
Yeah. You start new screen? No, you did not.
Not on the main channel. I did on my other channels, and the 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 notifications didn't go out for any of my channels.
Wow. That's really weird.
See, if somebody's just broadcasting from one channel and this were to happen, they could just like pass it off as a glitch or whatever. But we can see that there's 6 channels that all 6 notifications usually go out, and not a single one went out. That would, and I'm getting YouTube notifications a little less than an hour ago. Could it be that their notification server is down? Could they be getting hacked? Probably. It's something
Sure.
like that. I wouldn't be
Sure.
surprised. Because I haven't got a notification from YouTube in an hour. You know? Have you? Has anybody been getting any
No, it's
notifications?
actually, hold on, funny now. Wait, you hold on, let me check when I got the last one. Yeah, I did 9 minutes ago, 26, and 55 minutes ago.
Okay, let me check.
But that's not from you. That was from
Right, from other people.
DW News, and yeah.
Jimmy Dore show, the Carl the Moon 33 minutes ago. He truly believes the bottom is in for sure for Bitcoin, he says. And we've got a Jimmy Dore video that I want to go over. I thought I had the video up. It was probably up on my phone that I was watching it. No problem. Okay, so you know, I don't take joy in having to rip apart Jimmy Dore. I don't do this for clicks. I don't do this to get love out of anybody. I know, if anything, all I've done is I've subverted my chances to get a lot more viewers, right? Because I'm not a team player. And I don't fucking care, okay? I don't give a fuck. What I'm going to tell you is, I saw Jimmy Dore, claiming science is anti-science, and I'm going to call it out for the bullshit that I know it is. And if you don't like it, you can go fuck off right now, for all I fucking care. And let me tell YouTube to go fuck themselves for subverting my notifications today, so my audience doesn't know that I'm live. All I can say for them is it's a good thing that I tell my audience I go live 3 times a day, and maybe periodically they'll check in, or they might, choose to follow at Nays Garden Show on Twitter, or Nays Garden anywhere else, whether it's Twitch or Rumble or anywhere else where they will get an actual notification. Great. Let's pull the Rumble away over here. Okay. And let's do the that looked like Battlefield there for a second. This one right here. There we go. Great. And we'll see how long I can make it without making a comment into this Jimmy Dore video, which I'm just going to give you a little bit of background to it, okay? Jimmy has been using anti-science hacks on his show for years. When he started doing it at first, I noticed it and I called it out, and I just figured that after a while it was going to stop, and it never did, and he keeps doing it. So I'm going to keep calling him out on the bullshit that I see, and one day, someday, somebody else bigger than me with a larger following than me, they're going to say the exact same things that I've already said. They're going to get all the credit for it, but someday Jimmy Dore will be exposed for the hack and the liar and the anti-science piece of human garbage that he really is.
Enoch YU Beesland 420. What up, son?
Yo, Enoch, what's up? So that being said,
Stephen Colbert, you know how bad Stephen Colbert is, right? Remember he's such a tool for Big Pharma. Remember he did a dance number for vaccines.
You know, 2 of those dancers are dead now with enlarged heart.
Three of them have myocarditis, and one of them has a...
You know,
Did you
the
just laugh
CDC
at
says you get
people
heart
dying?
attacks from doing this.
You shouldn't be
Dancing
doing
around?
that.
Cosplaying, dancing.
Dancing causes...
it's not just that. It's you know the weird outfits that
I know,
those guys
but-
are wearing.
but-
Weird shit.
I know, but that
dresses.
was fucking weird, you know. The concept of it, you just started playing the video, he talked about a guy died, and he just sit there and laughed. If that was taken out of fucking context, dude, Jesus Christ.
Right? I want to hear it again.
Stephen Colbert, you know how bad Stephen Colbert is, right? Remember he's such a tool for Big Pharma. Remember he did a dance number for vaccines.
You know, 2 of those dancers are dead now with enlarged heart.
That was a good joke, Cyber.
Listen to...
No, that was a good joke.
Yeah, but...
You know, that was a clean.
Okay.
That was a good, clean joke. You know why?
Okay.
Because 2 of those
No.
dancers aren't dead from an enlarged aorta. He's being silly. He's like, oh,
Okay,
yeah, they
okay.
killed him. It ended up killing him, you know. And yeah, it's funny. It was a good joke. And listen,
Okay.
you're always gonna get
Fair
that
enough.
from me. I will always give credit. I'm not here to destroy Jimmy Dore because he is Jimmy Dore. I'm here to destroy the lies that he tells his audience. Okay, that's why I do this. Because I'm a champion of the truth, and he is a champion of lies, and we clash at that juncture. And he runs away from me, and I'm not gonna let it go. You know, I'm gonna hunt this down, and I'm gonna pursue it. So yeah, I'll forgive the joke at the beginning from Kurt Metzger for sure.
Three of them have myocarditis, and one of them
See?
has a...
See,
You know-
he's doubling down on the joke.
The CDC says you get heart attacks from doing this.
You shouldn't be
Dancing
doing
around?
that.
Cosplaying, dancing.
Dancing causes heart
strokes.
attacks. Shoveling snow, watching TV,
Animated GIF images that can cause a stroke.
That's right.
I can see a lot of danger things here.
people talking on airplanes causes heart attacks. You know that. Everything except the vaccine. It does not. So you know whatever happened to Stephen Colbert, I don't know.
He's probably been the same blank.
I think
the
he's
whole
always been
time. Whenever you fill into this empty actor of a person is what comes out. So you got funny writers, then funny stuff comes out. If you got corporate, you know.
And so now he is like a cartoon. Watching Stephen Colbert is like, wow. So that's why he was so good at doing that character, which was that wildly over the top asshole Bill O'Reilly type guy.
Right. He's become that
It was
for
just
the
like
left.
if you exaggerated Bill O'Reilly, that's
He's
who
the
he
yin
was.
to O'Reilly's yang
He's a
now.
cheerleader
So
for
why
the left
was he able to do that character so amazingly? What she did
because he
is
is
because that character
he's that for the
actually
left.
is him. It's in his shadow,
Right.
and he's doing it now.
He
so
can
you
make himself believe whatever.
go watch his show, and he just spews whatever the establishment corporation wants him to say, just like Bill O'Reilly did.
right.
He's
That's his job. And Jimmy Dore has said this, that he would do the same thing if he was getting paid enough money to.
doing it on CBS now. It is remarkable.
little
I can't watch
hypocritical.
it. But here's what he did. Now let's watch this. So now
I can't watch it. Then let's watch this. That's hypocritical too.
showed you that the study, the most conclusive study on masks, right? And that the whole point about masks is everybody's going to get COVID. So what do you care when you get it? Well, I'm
Do you hear this? Did you hear
Yeah.
what he just told his audience? So, right off the bat, he's encouraging people, what do you care when you get it? Hey man, I want to prolong it as much as possible, Jimmy, and if I can avoid it forever, well then that's what I want to do. I don't want to take a risk by getting long COVID like you supposedly have. I don't want to take a risk by getting some kind of a long-term disease that has already been proven by science to take place when people get infected with COVID. So, this is a very simple concept, Jimmy, and the fact that you are confusing yourself over this, your whole narrative, and you confuse the truth over this, it's no longer shocking to me. It was at first, but now it's like you're just a prick. And that's, it's like my friend Cyber, it's like I can hear it in his voice. I'm just disgusted with you and your ignorance. It's whether it's faux or whether it's pure, it doesn't matter. I'm sick of your ignorance. I don't care if you're getting paid to be ignorant or not. I don't care what's driving you to do it, whether it's a narrative or you think for some reason that you are raging against the machine. So everything that they say, it's got to be you got to be anti, and it doesn't matter. And man, when Fauci went flip-flopped on that shit, I bet you fucking lost your nuts over that shit. You didn't know which side you wanted to be on at that point, right?
I'm going to try and
It's almost like he
delay
was
it. But you're going to
trolling
get it. So as soon as you get it, you're then going to get natural immunity. Do you know that, right?
Yeah, that's a fair question. Why would
So, right, there's another bullshit. Oh, he says, as soon as you get it, you're going to get natural immunity. Why did Jackson Hinkle catch it 5 times? How many times have you caught it? How many times have other people caught it? Way more than once. I've heard a lot of people not have immunity from it, and they keep catching it over and over again. That doesn't sound like immunity.
the spread be
Why? Just get it.
help if
At
we're all
first,
gonna
they
get
were
it?
afraid we are going to overwhelm the hospitals. Well, COVID,
Right.
Omicron is presents as a cold, so it's not going to
Another
overwhelm.
lie.
You went to the hospital
Another
for-
lie. 60 people died in my state 2 days ago from what he claims presents as a cold. Does it present as a cold to those people? No. Does a common cold kill people that have diabetes? No. Does a common cold kill people that have COPD? No. Does a common cold kill people that have asthma? No. Does COVID? Yes. It doesn't present as a cold. So, let me present my fucking balls to your face, you moron.
Omicron.
Yeah.
My guess is you had other problems.
You had other problems. So
You know-
watch what he does.
And it amazes me that YouTube allows this disinformation to go out without having someone like me as a counter narrative there right under his video. The second video that you should be Nave's Garden debunking Jimmy Dore for all of his lies that he tells his audience. That should be the next video. Instead, you'll probably get another Jimmy Dore video. YouTube loves him because he makes them money.
Mike Pasquarello
Iceman, what's up?
stopped in real quick to do a dab.
I'm ready.
Cheers.
Cyber's ready. Jim's ready.
Amir EDOL.
Billy, cheers.
Morning Nay, hand pink waving. Billy
Hey,
Valentine. I'm glad Jimmy is already dressing for his future home at LA County Correctional Facilities. Iron Lance McGee. Cheers.
Orange is the new black and white striped shirt.
Mike Pasquarello. Cheers everyone. Cheers Cyber.
Man, I'm still at 720. I gotta remember to flip that. I've got to reboot this whole computer though, and I haven't done that. The volume is acting so weird. Okay, so let's go back to this,
Jimmy Carter.
and I will.
Old Mr. Jimmy
Look.
was all for the COVID mandates. He even
Look.
got the jab. Why
Let me
did
tell
he
you
flip?
guys this. I used to love Jimmy Dore so much that even to this day, I would so much rather be doing a positive video about how great reporting he's doing. than having to do what I do. I know I'm not winning friends. I know I'm not getting clicks.
And near EVOL.
I know not more people are coming in
You
here to
make the
watch
Saturn
me.
ring shine.
It's not why I do this. I do it because I believe in the truth. The truth should be stated. People should honor the truth, and people shouldn't deny facts. And when you hear someone like this with 1 million followers that denies facts, you need to call them on their bullshit. That's it. That's all you can do. It's all I can do with my tiny little following. It's all I can do.
You tonight breathing easy because the White House has finally announced they plan to end the COVID public health emergency in May. Take that, COVID. We beat you. Shove that up your nose and rotate it 5 times. This has been a long time coming. I wish you could see the smiles on the faces of my audience.
And here, Evil, thank you for the compliments on my smoke rings. I appreciate that.
I wish I could too, because they're still wearing masks.
They're going to wait.
Old Mr. Jimmy was all for the COVID mandates. He even got the jab. Why did he flip? Let's talk about that word jab, Jimmy Carter. You know, that jab that you negatively referred to with the word jab, that jab probably saved millions of fucking lives. Billions of people got that jab. So when you come in here calling it the jab, make sure you realize you're talking to somebody who understands the science behind vaccines and how that is why a lot of us are still here today, because of those jabs. And because at first people like Jimmy Dore were very supportive of it. And luckily a lot of people ran out and got those jabs.
Wait till May.
Fucking jabs.
And they cheered that they're wearing masks. Now, some people said that they handed out those masks for a joke, for that joke. First of all, it's not funny. So I don't think they did that as a
Wait a
joke.
minute, Jimmy Carter.
What do you think, Kurt?
Long-
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't I already block you from my live stream? Correct me if I'm wrong. Pretty sure I blocked you already.
Largo has an official policy that you still have to wear a mask, so I'm going to guess that it's not. Wait, who said that? Who said that, BBC?
No, just on the Twitter, I saw people saying it was part of the joke.
No, I'll bet.
Did you hear that? So,
No.
okay. Let's hope not. Jimmy just said he made something sound like it's factual, and then he goes, "Well, I saw it on the Twitter. People said it." This is how Jimmy. This is one of his techniques for relaying facts to his audience, and his guest, Kurt Metzger, just called him on his
Iron Lungs
bullshit.
McGee. LOL, you did yesterday.
I did what yesterday, bro?
First of all, it's not funny. So I don't think they did that as a joke. What do you think, Kurt?
Largo has an official policy that you still have to wear a mask, so I'm going to guess that it's not. Wait, who said that? Who said that, BBC?
No, just on the Twitter, I saw people saying it was part of the joke.
No, I'll bet the audience is like a Starbucks employee where they still have to wear it.
Dude, wait, we got to go back to Jimmy saying
Iron
what he
Lungs
said.
McGee. Ban Jimmy for his comments.
Lol, you did yesterday. I banned Jimmy for his comments. What? What are you talking about?
Jimmy Carter.
Oh, I did?
If he did, I wouldn't be able to comment.
Iron Lung says I did ban you.
Jimmy Carter. Stop lying.
Dude, I could check and see if I banned you. It might come up on my list if I look. But
Iron Lungs McGee. You said you were going to ban Jimmy, but nothing ever happened.
how do you remember
Billy
this?
Ballantyne.
I don't remember any of this.
Pretty easy to switch accounts. Iron Lungs McGee. I don't lie, homie.
Well, but the fact is, if the name Jimmy Carter were banned from my chat, he wouldn't be able to chat with the name Jimmy Carter. Right? So it looks like he might be right. I don't know. I was just wondering. I don't know what you said. I don't remember it. I don't know. Lucky for you. I don't know. So we're going to let it go. Anyway, the thing is, they go to a photo of the audience over there at the Colbert Report, and they're all wearing masks. Jimmy makes the comment that,
Hoot and hell. It looks like the same Jimmy account I've seen in here before.
for some
Billy
reason,
Valentine.
this is an inside joke, and all the people
Now,
were
I have
told to wear
3
masks.
Billy Valentine accounts by
Listen
the
to
same
how he
name,
says it,
but
though.
yeah, wait halves.
And they cheered that they're wearing masks. Now,
Now, look at him.
some people said that
okay.
they handed out those masks for a joke.
Okay, fair enough. He said some people said. That's fair enough. I missed that. Okay, fair enough. That's good reporting, Jimmy. Go on.
For that joke. First of all, it's not funny. So I don't think they did that as a joke. What do you think, Kurt?
Largo has an official policy that you still have to wear a mask. So I'm going to guess that it's not. Wait, who said that? Who said though, BBC?
No, just on the Twitter, I saw people saying it
My
was
bad.
part of the joke.
Okay, my
No,
bad.
I'll bet the audience is like a
I misheard
Starbucks employee where they still have to wear it.
Yeah.
Where, when you go,
Mhm.
I go in there and I'll be like, why do people have masks on? Because they probably have to because of work.
So let me.
They don't
let's watch
understand
that
how
again. Let me
masks
watch that
work.
Using
again.
tonight, breathing easy, because the White House.
Kurt Metzger and Jimmy Dore don't understand the science behind how masks work. They deny the science behind how masks work. And there is a Cambridge study that Thunderfoot covers in a video that I share repeatedly at Jimmy Dore on Twitter. You guys can go to my Twitter. You can retweet that at him. It's there under my tweets and replies. You'll see it. It's a video, a Thunderfoot video on YouTube. And it cuts in right when the little experiment, when the little demonstration shows how masks work. Very simply, by a factor of 3, they cut the transmission of viruses down by a factor of 3, which is better than 0. Right? Masks do work. And by slowing it down, that's how eventually you can beat a pandemic.
House has finally announced they plan
But
to
Jimmy
end
and
the
Kurt
COVID
don't
public health
understand that.
emergency in May. Take
And
that,
they-
COVID!
and they claim-
We beat you!
And they claim someone like Stephen Colbert and someone like me that understands the science behind how masks work, even by me just by doing this. We're anti-science. And I got a Cambridge study that begs to differ with what Jimmy is lying about.
Shove that up your nose and rotate it 5 times. This has been a long.
And by the way, can I just say
So that was a COVID test joke.
the joke is that Joe Biden sets an arbitrary date for when a virus ends?
Yeah.
It is time to pack.
Yeah. It's true. And I'll agree with Jimmy Dore. I told my mother the same thing. I said Joe Biden is a fucking idiot for going out publicly and saying he declares the pandemic has ended. That was fucking psychotic. And now so many people stop taking this thing seriously because of what that dumb cunt fucking said.
That's where the joke should go.
And it's May.
So they make a
What?
point. This is a valid point.
Anyway,
Time coming. I wish you could see the smiles on the faces of my audience. And I wish I could too, because they're still wearing masks. The end is near. The end is
Hoot and
near.
hell.
This is a huge moment.
Have them
After
go rip
all
out
the
some
COVID
asbestos.
we've
Without
all
a
been
mask.
through, the Delta
Asbestos.
variant,
Without a mask.
Omicron,
Right.
Omicron
Hey,
BA2,
man, just try a dust storm without a mask.
X.1.5, Z95.
I really
the
hope that I'm not going to get in
tonight.
trouble for all
Breathing
this
easy.
Colbert.
You know what they should do?
On my
Wait
channel.
till the day of in May, stay up late till midnight, and then do a countdown to take down.
Okay, just so you know this, when you order tickets for the late show, COVID-19 attendance policies, all attendees must be fully vaccinated and provide in-person verification of
So,
vaccination.
again-
Mask requirements are based on CDC community risk levels.
What does that mean? Like they have a terror alert of it?
yes, they have the orange. You have to wear your mask today.
Wow.
Yeah,
Who knows about that or follows that?
I guess the shit lives over at the Colbert show. That is
See,
amazing.
and if people just followed the science, you just always wear masks as much as you could. And you wouldn't have these stupid orange codes and this stupid shit, whatever. There's a higher risk today than there is the earlier day or whatever the fuck. So the hypocrisy behind just having, just not applying the science, I agree with what Jimmy and Kurt are saying here, but for a different reason.
Amazing that they still make people be vaccinated.
So when New York County
That's
is in a
amazing.
medium or
The
high
vaccine.
risk,
Go ahead.
it says when New York County is in a medium or high community risk level, according to CD, masks covering your nose and mouth are required at all times in the theater, according to the website.
Yeah, I know it wasn't a joke. That's a real.
So this guy says, I'm an independent. That being said, horrible look for liberals. They look like science
Oh,
deniers.
why? Because they're wearing face burkas?
They are science deniers. The entirety of Hollywood requires you to be vaccinated to work.
Billy
Listen, science
Valentine.
deniers implies that these people
Try robbing a bank without a
even know
mask.
anything about science.
You get
they're
got quick.
Science ignorers.
But they're science ignorers. How about that?
Like they're not. What they like is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, what I'm saying, what that guy's saying is that they were the ones calling everyone else anti-science and anti-vax,
They also said don't read, and they took
and-
their advice.
and it turns out that they're the ones who are
Right.
actually anti-science. They're the ones who aren't following. There's no science behind. Why do people have to be vaccinated? If your vaccine works, you're protected, right? And then, it doesn't work? Or, is that what you're saying? Because I say they work. They're super safe and effective. And they will slow the spread and contraction, and they will keep you from getting seriously ill, hospitalized, or death. They're fantastic. My heart swells with pride that I got the vaccine. 3 or 4 times the size.
Listen, science
good
isn't
joke.
a reading thing. Science is a lunch table that you sit at
Yeah.
if you know the right people.
I can't get over this. People I knew all my life.
See, so when Jimmy Dore told, I'm just going to give Kurt a little advice. When Jimmy Dore told that joke, my heart swells 3 or 4 times the size. Right? That's a good joke. I wouldn't be surprised if Kurt Metzger was the one who wrote that joke. You know, these guys, he has these people on that write for him. You know, Jimmy may have written that joke himself. He may have, that might be a joke that he says all the time. Regardless, Kurt Metzger's job at that moment, and his wives as well, Steph's as well, was to give the credit for that joke that it deserved a little bit of laughter because it was a funny fucking joke. And it's just weird that there wasn't a single peep out of anybody in the garage at that moment. Jimmy tells a joke and Kurt, boom, just cuts him right off. There's no time to let the joke breathe. It's like opening a bottle of wine. You start swigging it. That's not how you do a joke, Kurt. So just a little advice from somebody who's watching and understands comedy. Hey, man, give him a little chuckle next time. And, maybe Jimmy will chuckle at one of your jokes, too, even if maybe, he's heard it before.
Since I moved to Los Angeles, I knew him all my life in Hollywood. I thought we were the rebels. It turns out they're not. They're all authoritarian fucking go-alongs. They can't wait to fall in line and vote
Okay,
for...
wait, how many of them are not gainfully employed?
They still think that the Democrats and Republicans are fundamentally different. They still think that there's a
420
difference.
Junior.
This is what I'm up against. You
That's
can
a
see
good
what I'm up
point.
against,
People
right?
love stepping on jokes.
But there's a handful of people in Hollywood who get it. You get it, Kurt. You're in Hollywood.
But I'm not the kind of big-time alt darling that I once was.
That's you, nor am I. Nor am I. Remember? Yeah, I was on Late Friday. That was when Alternative got to NBC. Remember that Late Friday? Remember that show? It was supposed to be based on Largo, and I got to do 2
Who
of
was
them.
on it?
Everybody. I remember Bobcat Goldthwait hosted one of mine.
This is after Luna Lounge and all that?
Yeah, but Luna Lounge in New York, you mean?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I thought the
OG
big
420
trans- Well,
Junior.
how I remember the
No,
big
that was
trans-
before.
Especially
so I did
if
Late
they are
Friday
not life
probably.
at the
I don't know
party.
what year I did it. Was it? I don't know what year I
I
did it.
thought like alt became when Comedy Central, because I remember there's a whole alt scene when I got to New York, but when Comedy Central started going more to like Rafifi and stuff where Mulaney was and Kroll, and then the main sense of humor became kind of like upper class, like improv kid humor.
Look at
and
Jimmy on his phone
then they
ignoring
started saying it's
Kurt.
not diverse because those scenes are not really diverse. They're usually kind of rich.
So that was 2001 and 2002. I did that. That was Late Friday.
Awkward. Cringe moment.
Well, who are the people that are like working in somewhere they're going on a lot to work? Because I find it just depends on how well your business is doing and
What do you
yeah.
mean?
like how gung ho
Billy
people are with that
Valentine.
stuff is they work somewhere.
Jimmy's like listening to
where
my
that's where
senile
you should be
aunt.
like that, and that's
Not
what
even
causes
my
it,
uncle.
but nothing else.
I have a friend who just
An old
did a
woman that
TV
just
series,
flaps
and he
gums
was talking
all
about how
day.
somebody got COVID on the set.
OG
And he goes, "Oh, I got to
420
get him out." They
Junior.
pulled him out in mid-scene,
Well,
and blah
that's
blah blah. We
annoying
all
to
wear
see him on
masks,
his
and I'm
phone
like,
like that.
"So you all wear masks on the set?" And you test. They had to test every day to make sure nobody had COVID on the set.
Like he's a porn star?
Wait. So and so I said, so the minute you walk out of that set, you're exposing yourself to COVID, right? You're going to get on a subway, you're going to go have dinner, you're going to have lunch, you're going to go to a hotel, you stay in a hotel. What the fuck? What is the point of not trying to not get COVID for a few hours?
He just
What is
doesn't.
the point of that?
He just doesn't understand that some people will wear masks on the subway. Some people will wear masks in public, and some people will take that personal responsibility, and that in turn helps him and helps all the ignorant motherfuckers out there that are spreading the shit like wildfire, while people like me are staying home and keeping it at bay a little bit. You know, lucky enough for them, there's people like us out there. You know, I don't know if you guys have anything to add in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. Cyber and I are going to partake in a nice bong rip, and I look forward to your responses. OG420, Billy Ballantyne, cheers to you. Cyber, cheers to you. And everyone in the Rumble sphere, you guys, feel free to chat if you can. Make sure you subscribe to
Sparks,
that while you're
420.
there. Thank you for
Cheers.
getting me well over 100 subscribers on Rumble, guys. Cheers, Edwin. Cyber?
Sorry, my mic was muted. I
Jimmy
was talking
Carter.
earlier. Yeah, I'm ready. Cheers,
Okay,
bro.
cheers,
everybody.
cheers, brother.
Iron Lungs McGee. Cheers. Megsy Williams. Hey Nay, cheers.
Rogies over there beasling. White beasling, little beasel. The market has dropped.
OG 420 Jr.
Big drop in the market.
Just poured coffee, MMM chocolate latte.
So there's nothing really to see there.
Billy Ballantyne. It's hilarious that the very people who fear the government made COVID for population control is literally making sure it depopulates the USA inadvertently.
Right? That's profound, bro. You're right. And ironic. And observant of you.
Iron Lungs McGee. I don't know why, but I've been thinking of and missing Stanky a lot lately.
Oh man, sorry, bro. We're still here. Keep his spirit alive, bro.
Stanky was a good guy, man.
Got yellow markers suddenly appearing across the board. Here we go. Something's happening. Our harmony is at 2564. It seems to be at a low, at a test point where it was before about 15 hours ago. 18 hours ago. Yeah, 2540 is the low, so.
Billy Ballantyne. I'm glad Karsten is alive. What a relief that was.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy.
Iron Lungs McGee. Cheers to all the fallen trends.
That was so weird. Graham's going live right now. I could rebroadcast you. Oh. But they go long, man.
Jimmy Carter.
Is it gonna be? It's government.
How many
secrets.
trendies passed?
It's gonna be government secrets, bro. It's gonna be both Graham and Lee Camp together. How many trendies passed? I would say, we've probably lost 30 or 40 viewers along the way. That's probably an accurate. When you consider I got 20, I've had over 26,000. I've probably had over 100,000 subscribers, bro, It's just, they subverted it, but, I'm sure a lot of people have died. I wonder if old Skylark's still kicking it. I bet she is. That old battle axe. Or Patrick DeCambra. I wonder whatever happened to Patrick DeCambria. He was real sick.
Iron Lungs McGee. We lost a lot of OGs in the past 8 years or so.
Goddamn, we could start writing their names down, bro, and we'll find out there's a lot.
Iron Lungs McGee. She is not far from me.
She thinks I beat my girlfriend, bro.
What?
Skylark stopped watching Trendy As Dabbers because she believed my ex-girlfriend when she got on the internet and told people that I beat her with a frickin' pipe.
Wow. God damn.
I'm like, you realize you're one of hundreds of people who've heard this story.
Iron Lungs
and you're the
McGee.
only one who's telling me you're
Your
not going
ex
to
was
watch
crazy
me
as hell.
because of this. You're the only one.
Billy Ballantyne. The first trendy to die was Abe Lincoln.
And it was a bear that killed him.
Hello, everybody out in Government Secrets land. We have an exciting episode for you today, folks. It's going to be a big bang boozle, a big doozy. Doesn't make any sense what I'm saying, but you get it. You kind of get it. Thank you, everybody watching on my YouTube, on Lee Camp's YouTube. Of course, if you are watching on one of our YouTubes, please subscribe to the other guy's YouTube because that helps all of our analytics. And, of course, people watching on the Rockfin. Folks, know that if you sign up for Rockfin Premium, you get access to all of my premium content, Lee Camps, and everybody on Rockfin's platform. And we have bonus. You can see scrolling right below is the patreon.com/government secrets, where we have bonus content. We have a bonus clip this week that we already pre-recorded. We can't do it live immediately following the show, but we will be posting it immediately following the show.
Iron
We
Lungs
usually
McGee.
do the Patreon bonuses.
Your
what
ex
we call
tried
the
to turn
twigs
me
of This
and
Week
my
in
wife
Government
against
Secrets.
you, if you remember.
And it's going to involve.
She just didn't know how close
I
we
don't know,
were.
some fun stuff that happened in
I remember.
UN, 20 years ago. About a country in the
She
Middle
called.
East.
She tried to
when
call my
America was,
mom
once again
and my sister.
telling the truth,
So
and being
funny.
honest to the world.
She what?
But let's
Dude.
get into it. Let's do our episode today. Here we go, citizens.
Right.
Like, share, subscribe. Holly and Blaze Wolf are our moderators. And on whatever platform you're watching, and sharing this out on social media always helps us, of course. So, and all those analytical things help. Here we go. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching
Jimmy
and listening
Carter.
to Government Secrets with the
Psycho.
two most censored comedians in the world, Lee Camp and Graham Elwood. And my show.
Oh my God, Graham, what are you doing watching me through my computer?
Ah, I love it. I just like watching.
Awkward.
Hi, Lee. What are you wearing? Can I comb your beard?
Please do that. Why have they not created that technology? Come on, Apple. Why can't you comb people's beard through the screen?
I just want to comb your hair, beard. I want to comb your beard, Lee. I just want to make sure your beard hair is nice.
And I want to fix your Superman curl, which is really failing.
Billy
today.
Valentine.
Failing.
It really fell apart. I don't
Guys
know
like
what.
us in our youth
I don't
and
even know
middle
what it
age
is anymore.
seem to attract some
It's really-
crazy boobed
It's
humans.
more just like a weird semicolon thing.
You know what it is? It's Count Chocula today, I think.
It is. We are
Or
very,
Count Chocula.
we are very Count Chocula, whatever. Yeah, it's very Count Chocula today. So, folks, we have a fantastic episode. We're going to talk about all the fun things that happened from Agent Orange, and there's more secrets involving an Agent Orange. If you don't know about that, we're going to cover that today. And
Tommy Mosner.
Lee's going to
Did you see we
discuss,
bombed Nord Stream pipeline?
And we don't often do things.
Yeah,
that happen
I knew
like
we did. We
today.
reported it like
Yes,
once
Uh-huh.
when it happened.
Talking
We
all
knew it was the
creepy.
This
United
time we
States.
are, because we now have the play-by-play of how the U.S. bombed the Nord
Yes.
Stream pipelines, and it's pretty incredible.
It's
I tweeted it out.
Yeah, I know. Normally we aren't like, we got to cover breaking news. We don't really do that on their show. We usually do it on our other shows, but it's so relevant to everything we discuss on this show because this is a massive
Tommy
government
Mosner.
secret.
Yeah,
You were on it.
Something all of us sort of anti-war
Tommy Mosner.
lefties suspect.
Did I wonder if I
Da-
tweeted that
LOL.
at
yeah
you
we all
randomly?
said like,
I
oh,
don't
it's
know.
ridiculous that Russia would bomb their own pipeline. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But beyond that, it's like none of us had any proof or sources or.
No, all we had was there's no motive for Russia to do this.
You had
It's
common
a revenue
sense.
stream for them. Why would they blow up their own and hurt their own money?
Massive revenue stream, and they spent billions of dollars to build those pipelines. Yeah.
You had
Why would they do
common
it?
sense
So,
and
Lee, why don't you break
our
down
previous
everything the United States did to blow up the Nord Stream pipeline and government
behavior.
secret segment number 1. America doing more good in the world.
All right, so this is coming from Seymour Hersh, which many people may know.
That's what I
He's a
tweeted.
Pulitzer Prize winning. He's considered one of the best journalists America has ever created.
where did they go?
This is the guy who revealed the My Lai massacre, among other things, in Vietnam. He covered Watergate.
Dude, where did
but
Lee go?
slowly, over time,
weird.
our media became more and more captured by the corporate state and corporate America. And on top of that, he, refused to kind of settle back, like Woodward and Bernstein have settled back into like we're just going to go after Donald Trump, or we're not really going to harm the systems, and so they're allowed on the mainstream media. Whereas Seymour Hersh is no longer like he had incredible reporting on how Syria didn't use chemical weapons, but it was like in a German newspaper because he can't get. He
Billy
won't be
Bong
published
Thornton.
in New York Times, Washington.
Didn't those
Russia
pipelines
and
go
Germany,
to the
between Russia and
UK or
Germany.
They won't
Germany?
publish it. So
So
this is
America
coming
hurt
from
their own
his
allies
Stupid.
by cutting off the pipeline. So stupid.
Exactly.
Which
Which is this
that right
sad-
there.
Because Russia was benefiting.
No, you're right. It is sad that this amazing journalist is so, I mean, like the way we have, but he has on a much bigger level of being throttled, censored, and this is how they censor him. It's just like, oh, we can't bring him on the show anymore, or I don't know what the exact smears have been said about him, but I can only imagine it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like, oh, he's gone off the rails, or he's this or that, and it's just that classic thing. And we talk about it in the Patreon bonus segment of neoliberals. You know, you can be critical of like when Republicans do stuff or whatever, but now you can't be, you know, when Democrats do awful things. This is going to reveal, this is Joe Biden's presidency is happening. This is what has happened. So,
Right. And yeah. And this, if this is an act by the United States, which it is an act of war. And
Biden
it's
said
putting
he
us
was going to
closer
do
to
it.
nuclear war than we've been since the Cuban
Biden
Missile Crisis.
said
I mean,
he
it's
was gonna
fucking
do it.
insane, is what it is.
yeah.
So, last June, Navy divers operating under the cover of a widely publicized midsummer NATO exercise known as Baltops 22 planted the remotely triggered explosives.
Sorry,
that 3 months-
Ball Top 22 is the name of my OnlyFans account, but please go ahead. I'm sorry.
Biden is on video saying he wanted to attack the Nord Stream 2 pipeline.
you know, I was so tempted to make a
You know,
Baltops joke. And
Ted
I just-
Cruz told him
I
to blow
couldn't
it
come up
up.
with a good
Ted
one,
Cruz
but
was
I-
begging
I'll-
Biden to
I'll
do it.
Send it over your way.
There's no way the word Ball Tops 22 can be read on this show, and then at least one of us doesn't make it. I mean, like,
I think we'd actually lose a lot of viewers if we skipped over that joke.
really, the chat would blow. Really, you guys are just gonna let Ball Tops 22 just float by? No one's gonna say anything.
I believe Baltops is actually a description of a certain kind of behavior at an orgy. It's like when they ask you what kind, you know, are you a pitcher, are you a catcher? I'm a Baltops. Oh, you're a Baltops. Oh.
I'm a Ball Tops. Yeah, I'm Ball Tops 22. Oh, okay, I got it. All right.
So, NATO exercise Baltops 22 planted the remotely triggered explosives that 3 months later destroyed 3 of the 4
Iron
Nord
Lungs
Stream
McGee.
pipelines.
Happy
According
710.
to a source with direct knowledge of the operational planning. 2 of the pipelines, that's the other thing about Seymour Hersh, is he has, you know, since 60 years ago or whatever, he has contacts deep in the Pentagon. Like, and he also revealed how Obama was lying about the way they killed Osama bin Laden. But anyway.
But we can't get into that because Obama's tweets were nice and he was so fun and nice and cuddly. So.
Oh my God, his tweets are so lovable. It's just, you know what I like is he's like relatable. Like, I could have a beer with him.
Yeah.
2 of the pipelines, which were known collectively as Nord Stream 1, had been providing Germany and much of Western Europe with cheap Russian natural gas for more than a decade. A second pair of the pipelines called Nord Stream 2 had been built, but were not yet operational. Most of you know that part. Biden's decision to sabotage the pipelines came after more than 9 months of highly secret back and forth debate inside Washington's national security community about how best to achieve that goal.
See?
That is important because if they were debating it for 9 months before it happened, guess what's that puts it before?
Before the war
Russia's
started.
invasion of Ukraine.
Right?
Wow.
Exactly. And that's what I knew.
So they were already planning on ways to blow up and stop this pipeline before the invasion.
So you gotta
That's what I've
wonder,
been saying.
and I don't know if Seymour Hersh has this direct evidence from his sources inside the Pentagon, and was part
I've got
of
it
this
on video. I can
pre-invasion
dial it up on YouTube. Biden,
plan? Did they go?
you know,
what actually
claiming
would help
to
is
want
if
to
we could
attack the
somehow
Nord Stream 2 pipeline.
spurn Putin into invading, then it gives us more cover under the wars happening in Ukraine. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of I don't mean.
The understanding I get from this is that although they weren't thinking if they invade, we can bomb the pipeline, they were thinking if they invade, we can increase sanctions to some crazy level, which would stop the pipeline. So they were thinking, they were trying to help. They were trying to create that invasion. And they thought that Russia was going to invade, but all they would do is take the Donbass region. They did not, from everything I've read, they did not think Russia would go fully for Ukraine. But their hope was Russia would say Donbass is an independent region. They would count it as an invasion. And then the U.S. could put all these sanctions to stop exactly what these pipelines allowed, which was massive cooperation, economic cooperation.
How dare
with
Russia
France and Germany,
profit off of energy?
And a lot of income for Russia, etc.
Clearly they've been planning, and by they I mean the U.S. State Department and the Biden administration and all the psychos in both parties. I'm really, since this literally just came out, and I haven't seen any coverage of it on CNN or MSNBC. Now maybe, yeah,
you haven't been watching enough. It's like they're just wall to wall.
Wall to wall.
Yeah. Not the walls they show on the air. It's like a back wall they don't show.
It's Democracy Now! Covered it. I'll give Democracy Now!, which can definitely lean neoliberal on many times, but Democracy Now! Had this revelation from Seymour Hersh, and I'm curious too. I'm sure they're going to try to stifle this in Western Europeans' media, but it feels like there's a better opportunity because if I'm living in Western Europe and this comes out, I'm now done. I'm furious. I mean, is this going to cause a ripple effect of like NATO? People are going to be like, we've talked about it, that there's been massive anti-NATO protests in Europe since the fall, which our media doesn't cover at all. But
and even at a higher level, it seems very obvious that Germany did not know anything about this, and Germany knew Germany may have, and I mean the ruling elite of Germany. Germany may have suspected it was the U.S., but I think they didn't have any evidence. They knew the U.S. wanted to stop the pipeline because that was said publicly. But I don't know that this could change something with Germany. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're going to try to stifle this as much as they can here, but it's not. You can't stifle this everywhere, and I don't think it's not going to do it. Americans aren't going to like get up and mass in the streets and protest. I just don't see them doing that because of this. But I see this happening in Europe where it's already
they're all out there except you and me. We had to do this live stream, so I'm not on the streets with them. But every American is marching right now.
Right. Just like they did when Edward Snowden, and WikiLeaks, right. They're all.
So the pipeline had been a boon for the German economy, which enjoyed an abundance of cheap Russian natural gas. America's political fears were real. Putin would now have an additional and much needed major source of income. The oil and gas is estimated to be upwards
Killer
of 45%
GB 420.
of Russia's income.
Hey, Nate, did you
And
catch
Germany
that
and the
tweet
rest
I
of
just
Western
sent you a
Europe
few minutes
would
ago?
become addicted to low-cost natural gas supplied by Russia while diminishing European reliance on America. And again, this is just more evidence for what many of us have been saying, which is one of the other reasons that this proxy war in Ukraine was created by the U.S. is to stop European cooperation with Russia, because Europe was becoming their own thing a little bit. Like, they didn't need America. I mean, America's a dwindling empire. We're late-stage capitalists, and we're losing our hegemony. And Europe was becoming more independent. And especially Germany and France, the two really biggest powers, they were allying with Russia on certain things and getting their energy there. And yes, there's a money aspect too. America gets to now sell all that oil and gas to Europe, but I think that's a smaller issue of like putting them back in their place as like vassal states to the United
Billy
States.
Valentine.
Yeah, and to the point
Nate, did you
of
get the crab salad
America's
I sent
now
you last
profiting.
week?
I remember I did a video on this roughly a year ago, where Biden said, we got to sanction Russia, and he said in his speech, like, now Western Europe can buy American natural gas, and it was revealed that our costs are more expensive. And I mean,
Yeah.
and here we are. And when I was in Europe in October when we were doing shows, they were like they had just announced that I was in Paris, and a friend of mine in Paris is like, oh, they just announced we can't have, it's in centigrade, but the equivalent of our heat over 67 degrees in the winter. And now, I mean, just here in LA, I just got my bill for gas, and all across Southern California, there's like protests outside the gas company, outside of City Hall. Like there's this huge protest, like the gas prices are through the roof, and the gas company cited some whatever Ukraine. So you see, like, I'm bringing all this up to show this is why they did this, because it's like, oh, now we can
Jimmy Carter.
make Western
Billy, did you
Europe
get the
not
hemorrhoid
think
cream?
they won't be financially independent anymore. We're also going to cripple Russia's revenue stream, and we can overcharge everybody for our natural gas. And you see, and so all these sanctions in Russia. So who's being hurt by America's sanctions and everything and blowing up the Nord Stream? Western Europe. Oh, and Americans. Americans are being hurt by this. So it's
meanwhile, the ruble has gained 8% on the dollar and something like far more than that on the euro. Yeah.
Oh, and I've talked to two different friends of mine who live in Russia, and they're like, we don't really feel the sanctions here. We don't, like, the Russian economy is doing well. People are, one guy said that some of his Russian friends, young men, guys, are like, have split. They're like, they moved out of Russia because they didn't want to be drafted into the war, and they're like, I don't want to go fight in Ukraine. So there's some of that, but there's also a lot of Russia that are being propagandized as well. But overall, the U.S. sanctions are not. It's not affecting Russia. It's affecting Western Europe and us.
Yep. So, Nord Stream 1 was dangerous enough, but Nord Stream 2, if approved by German regulators, would double the cheap gas. Yeah, I did that. Months earlier, after the fall of Afghanistan, German Prime Minister Scholz had publicly endorsed French President Macron's call for a more autonomous European foreign policy. We can't fucking have that, can we? In a speech in Prague, clearly suggesting less reliance on Washington. So, yet again, you're seeing all of the reasons that the U.S. needed this proxy war and needed to destroy Russia's ability to deliver gas to Europe. As long as Europe remained independent on the pipelines with cheap natural gas, Washington was afraid that countries like Germany would be reluctant to supply Ukraine with money and weapons it needed to defeat Russia. Boy, that would be horrible, right? If we didn't have other people enjoying, and partaking in our fucking megalomaniacal sociopathic bloodlust. It was so at this unsettled moment that Biden authorized Jake Sullivan to bring together an interagency group to come up with a plan. In December 2021, 2 months before the war in Ukraine began, if you don't count the 2014 coup and the killing of 15,000 in Donbass region, Jake Sullivan convened a meeting of a newly formed task force, including the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the CIA, State and Treasury departments, and asked for recommendations on how to respond to Putin's impending invasion. What became clear, and also this is another key point that he doesn't make here because that's not his purview, but so they get together in December 2021 knowing Putin's going to invade. Again, they might have thought it was just
Billy
the
Bob
Donbass,
Thornton.
but they knew he was going to invade. He was amassing
Is Russia
troops.
going to
It was
write the
clear.
pipeline off as a
I didn't
loss,
know that, but
or
they
do
knew
you
that.
think they will find a
And
way and retaliate?
If you are a nuclear power and you know that this invasion could happen, and you know Ukrainians could die, and you know we could put us on the brink of nuclear war, don't you
I believe
say,
they've repaired
"Hey,
that pipeline."
Let's sit down and fucking involves no invasion and just peace. But they never do that. They don't want that. They don't in any way signal with Russia, we want to solve this before invasion begins.
No, invasion's good for business. I mean, pushing Russia into an invasion is like, let's back Putin into a corner so he has to do this. And again, they underestimated him. They thought he would just maybe invade Donbass again. They didn't think he was going to invade the whole country and turn it into a big war. And it's like, let's find the peaceful solution isn't anywhere on anyone's list in the Pentagon or the State Department or whatever idiot is in charge of whatever moron party is currently running this dumb, awful hellhole called America. And it's like, these guys, I'm really curious, and I don't, maybe I'm being overly optimistic here, so I don't want to hold out hope, because you can't hold out any hope for anything in this country. But if Europe could go, oh, we're done with these guys. We're not doing this. We're out. And Zelensky could suddenly then pivot back to his pre-invasion, not even pre-invasion, his Boris Johnson meeting of no, we want to go to the negotiation table. Yeah, we want to go to the peace table, which Putin was like, yeah, all right, we'll go.
Yeah.
Everyone was willing to do that until Boris Johnson came in and did his Benny Hill yakety sax. But we want to put missiles in Ukraine that'll antagonize Russia
at the behest of the United States.
Yeah, right. And so I don't know. This could be the thing, because I've been watching this, and I know we've talked about it. Is this could be the thing that really isolates America. America wants to think, oh, Russia's isolated. It's kind of not, and everyone's a little sick of America, but just has to deal with
drop.
it.
We're getting a dead drop on the crypto market, guys.
You're blowing up a pipeline.
That's the thing, and it signals to the entire world, oh,
everything's
this is allowable,
dropping.
even
Free
when
fall.
you're not at war with a country.
Yeah.
You can just go around blowing up their infrastructure.
Whoa.
And it's not war.
Whoa, crypto market free fall, guys.
It's a complete act of war. I mean, if Russia did this to one of our
Crypto market
pipelines,
free
that would
fall.
be it, man. It would be
free fall.
We would go
everything, crypto market free fall, guys, all the way across
at the very
board.
So honestly, we should all be sitting here thanking Russia,
yes,
just with everything we have, that they didn't then respond with a
What
nuclear
happened? I wonder,
missile.
man.
I mean, at the very least, if Russia blew up one of our pipelines,
Something big just happened.
we would, at the very least, there would be 200,000 American troops, NATO troops, on the border of Russia right now, today. Like, where would be like,
Nick
there
Brown.
would be a draft enacted, and America
When
would be
was
like,
this
it's
video
about time
released?
we're
It's
gonna send
live,
this old
bro.
school with-"
Or maybe those Boston
This video is
Dynamics
live.
robot dog things.
Right, they would just
A lot
unleash
of
those.
those, just like 200,000 of those.
We would go bananas.
Look
if
at the
Russia
price
did this
of,
to us. We would go absolutely
Ethereum
bananas.
Nick
And
Brown.
so it's like,
Bitcoin.
this could be the thing
Oh, damn,
that
okay.
Everything's dropping.
makes us completely isolated from the world.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
Billy Bong
I
Thornton.
don't think
it
so.
is utterly insane.
Crypto is raining
so
blood.
you've got the secret meeting, right, of planning commission of Joint Chiefs of Staff, CIA, State and Treasury. Everyone involved understood the stakes. Seymour Hersh's source said they understood this is not kiddie stuff. If the attack were traceable to the United States, it's an act of war. Throughout all the scheming, the source told him, some working guys in the CIA and State Department were still saying, don't do this, it's stupid, and will be a political nightmare if it comes out. Yeah, you think?
Okay, we're getting
think, really?
we're getting a little bit of a bounce
Go ahead.
back here off the
I
candle,
was just gonna
guys.
say the same joke. Like, this will be a
Looking
political
for a
nightmare
higher
that comes out. I don't
bottom.
know. It seems like
The
Nevertheless,
free
in
fall
early
may have stopped.
2022, the CIA working group reported back to Sullivan's group by saying we have a way to blow up the pipelines. February 7th, Biden defiantly said in a press conference, and so several in the working group were shocked by this. Biden goes out in the press conference, and I have this ready to play if you want to play it.
let's play this.
Giant,
I'm sure this will
giant
be a
drop
really
in the
smart,
market.
coherent speech, Joe
I'll
Biden.
let you guys see the market.
Many
again
people
here.
have seen this line before, but he's asked about stopping Nord Stream 2 and how would you stop it? And
Oh, here we go.
Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
You see that?
But how will you do that
You hear that?
exactly? Since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control.
We will. I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
Schönen Dank für.
And look at that smirk.
I promise you.
I mean, if I'm living in Germany, I'm like, we're done. Like, we're done with America. I mean, I promise. This is the president of the United States saying, "I promise you." And she asked this very poignant question: how? It's within Germany's control. How is the United States going to do this?
Yeah, it's not yours to stop. Yeah.
Nope, and they didn't stop it. It's still going.
So, but I found this part really interesting. So apparently Victoria Nuland, she's the queen of all things Ukraine, helped create the U.S.-backed coup there, the kind of part of the mastermind group that came up with funding and arming Nazis. Anyway, she also apparently said either that day or the following day in front of the press that they were going to stop the pipeline if Russia invaded. And with Biden, many people have played that clip and go, "Oh, Biden slipped up. Oh, wow, I can't believe Biden said that. Wow, he shouldn't have said that." And it seemed like a slip or like just poor politics that he revealed that. But there's a reason that it likely was revealed in that way. The plan to blow up Nord Stream 1 and 2, once it was said
I
publicly,
just figured out
like
how to
Biden
protect
just
the
did.
Nord
I mean, he
Stream
didn't say
2.
blow up, but he said stop. Once it was said publicly, suddenly that
Wow.
downgraded
Buoys with
planning
drones.
from top secret to a covert operation. Oh, sorry.
You float some buoys out there
Downgraded
along the
from a covert
pipeline with
operation.
drones in them.
And
When
once it
something
was no
flies
longer
over,
a-
it comes
a
out,
top
the
secret
drones
covert
take off
operation,
and
it
freaking
no longer
drone
required
bomb them.
Congress to be
Boom!
informed.
Problem solved.
Congress would have never had to approve it. We don't go to Congress for approval for anything. But apparently, when there's a legal requirement that if there's a operation that involves U.S. military support, a classified intelligence operation with U.S. military support, Congress must be informed. But now that it had been said publicly, they didn't have to inform Congress anymore. And if obviously if he had to inform Congress, then someone at Congress would have leaked it.
Right.
So it would have become quite evident that the U.S. was planning to blow up those pipelines. And so now it seems that Biden and Nuland were sent out to specifically do that on purpose so they would not have to inform Congress.
Yes, that makes total sense. And I would also add, there's probably a little bit of
Billy Bong Thornton.
arrogance.
It's interesting
in
that the
of
rest
just
of the
like,
world
yeah,
hasn't
we're
ganged up
doing,
on
like, it
America
just, to me, it
and
just
beat it
feels
to a
very
pulp
mobbish,
for all the
like,
BS they pulled.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
It
real
really
shame.
is
if the
amazing
Nord Stream
we're
pipeline-
still alive.
Yeah, I mean, pipelines fall down flights of stairs all the time, Lee. It'd be a real shame.
You know, I noticed your little girl was really cute playing on that swing today.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's, you know what I mean? It'd be a real shame if the pipeline was just coming home work one day and a couple of guys jumped it. You know what I mean? It's crime all the time on the streets. You never know what can happen.
So then there's a little bit about other countries' knowledge. Norway was the perfect place to base the operation. Currently, the supreme commander of NATO is Jens Stoltenberg, a committed anti-communist who served as Norway's, and obviously anti-communist means also hates Russia for having been communist in the past,
Right.
who served as Norway's prime minister for 8 years before moving to a high NATO post with American backing. So America and he get along quite well. So he was all for it. The Norwegian Navy was quick to find the perfect spot in the shallow waters of the Baltic Sea, a few miles off Denmark's Bornholm Island. The pipelines ran along a sea floor that was only 260 feet deep, which is not a bad range for the divers, who operating from a Norwegian Alta-class mine hunter and could then plant shaped secret charges on the 4 pipelines. So they
Down goes
recruited
crypto.
the very best divers in the world were sent to CIA
Still dropping.
headquarters on
Look
this
at
top
this.
secret mission. The Norwegians joined the Americans in insisting that some senior officials in Denmark and Sweden had to be briefed in general terms about the diving activity. And it served the purpose that if Sweden or Denmark were to notice something going on, the ones who had been briefed on it could get in the way of it actually being reported to the chain of command. So basically, you put a couple of people in there to go, no, that's nothing, and stop actual reporting on it. But it's unclear what Sweden and Denmark were told. It's possible they were told different things as to what was going on. So then they had to decide when to do it. Well, every June for the past 21 years, the American Sixth Fleet, whose flagship is based in Gaeta, Italy, has sponsored a major NATO exercise in the Baltic Sea involving scores of Allied ships throughout the region. The current exercise would be known as Baltops 22, your favorite, Graham.
Baltops 22. Oh, they come up
Your
with the
balls
greatest.
are the tops.
Ball tops.
I've got 22 of the top balls that the world has ever seen.
So they decided this would be the perfect cover for planting the mines. But here's the thing. Initially, the plan was to plant the mines during these NATO exercises and then basically blow them, like to put a timer on them and so that they would blow 2 days later. And suddenly, towards the last second, Washington has second thoughts on them exploding 2 days later because they'd go, that seems kind of obvious it was us if there was a NATO exercise there and then the pipelines explode 2 days later. I love that idea just occurred to them like in the last days of the, wait a second, that might look bad.
This seems like, we're the ones clearly with the motive to end this pipeline flow, bringing money in.
Tons of NATO ships going nuts through the Baltic, doing all kinds of crazy shit, and then the pipelines explode a day later.
Feels like some might think that's a weird thing.
Must have been an octopus.
Must have
been an octopus.
Octopus all the time make their own bombs. We've seen it. They have all these. They've got 8 legs.
You know, actually, what it is sometimes they eat dairy and they actually explode. Dairy's not good for them, so they will blow up themselves. No.
We really need to get to the culprit who's giving the octopuses milkshakes. I mean, this is what it sounds like.
That's why you should be vegan.
See, thank you.
So the White House asked whether they could create a way to blow the pipelines later on command. The C4
Nick
attached to the
Brown.
pipelines, they decided would be
Gotta
triggered
watch
by a
those
sonar
octopi.
buoy dropped by a plane on short notice. But the procedure involved the most advanced signal processing technology that they had. So on September 26, 2022, so a few months after June, a Norwegian Navy surveillance plane made a seemingly routine flight and dropped a sonar buoy. The signal spread underwater, initially Nord Stream 2, then Nord Stream 1. A few hours later, the high-powered C4 explosives triggered 3 of the 4 pipelines, blew up and were out of commission. Within a few minutes, pools of methane gas that remained in the shuttered pipeline could be seen spreading on the water's surface, and the world learned that something irreversible had just taken place. Seymour Hersh then puts out that in the aftermath, American media acted like, well, it's just an unsolved mystery. What could have happened? Russia was repeatedly cited as the likely culprit, which of course made no sense with zero motive. A few months later, when it emerged that Russian authorities were quietly getting estimates for the cost of repair to the pipeline,
Let's work this
the New York
out.
Times described the news as complicating theories about
Does it
who was
matter?
behind the attack.
Oh,
It
I was
seems
looking
odd
at you. I
that they're
didn't even
looking
see
to
that
repair it
shit.
if they're the ones that blew it up.
I love. Let's just bury it in goodness. You know, complicated theory. Look, there's a lot of. I mean, it's gonna take years to sort through this. No, not really. The U.S. wanted the pipeline stopped. Biden said as much, and then they had a NATO naval operation right above it. I don't.
It's got like a hammer.
It's wiggy. Just a complicated.
Probably octopus.
Again, the octopus theory. I think best one.
Octopus theory. Always
Oh, there's a
works.
lion now.
And apparently, Seymour Hersh says none of the media cited the fact that Biden and Newland had said publicly they would stop the pipeline.
Yeah.
Here's the last thing. Asked at a press conference in September about the consequences of the worsening energy crisis in Europe, Blinken said it's a potentially good. He said, It's a tremendous opportunity to once and for all remove the dependence on Russian energy and thus to take away from Putin the weaponization of energy as a means of advancing his imperial designs. That's very significant, and that offers tremendous strategic opportunity for the years to come. But meanwhile, we're determined to do everything we possibly can to make sure the consequences of all this are not borne by citizens in our countries, or for that matter, around the world. So now you actually have the Secretary of State publicly saying this is a good thing. By the way, I should mention that when asked for comment, the White House spokesperson and the CIA spokesperson said this is completely false.
Well, that's weird. The CIA
Isn't that
never
weird?
lies. I mean, Lee, can you name one time? We've done 112 of these episodes. Name one time the CIA is like. Name one.
Hold on, let me type it into Google.
Like any
Put it in the
statement the
chat,
CIA ever
GBT.
gives, the media.
I was
came out
just thinking
with a
about
job
that.
ago.
I was
The
literally
CIA
just
said this,
thinking
and
about
then
that.
halfway through reading it, there should just
So I could tell you to go Google it
Oh
yourself.
shit! Like just right across the
Ah.
screen.
I mean, the idea that anything ever said by the CIA, or really the White House spokesperson as well, is ever believed is beyond me.
Beyond, and it's always read by the corporate media as like, well, I mean, they gave a statement, so oh right, yes, that's it's like when there's some whatever recall from a product that hurt people, the corporate always gives a statement of our core values would never. Yeah, bitch, but it happened. You know what? You did it because you were greedy. Shut up. Like, just don't want to hear it. It's just automatic lies coming from them.
Yeah, it's so. Here it is. Like, it's one of these things, as with chemical weapons in Syria, as with WMD, as with Russiagate. It's like you can say almost from day one, if you're fucking intelligent and you study our media and you study the way our politicians lie and everything, you can say from almost day one, this is what likely happened. But you often don't get the details till months, maybe years later. I just did a live stream 2 weeks ago or a week ago on even more revelations about how Russiagate has collapsed, right? Thanks to the Twitter files. Titter files actually is better, but the Twitter files and revealing that internally in Twitter, the CEOs and the executives were saying, hey, this Russian bot thing is bullshit, but what do we do about it? And they didn't say that publicly, they said it privately. But you don't get this information until months later, and your mainstream media never reports it, just acts like the lie is the truth and goes about their business.
And anyone that goes, wait a minute, no, always, they're a little loose cannon, they're weird, or what? I don't know what they got an agenda, and it's like, what about your agenda? Like, it's just gaslighting 101. Everything that they do is gaslighting. So, all right, buddy, is that it?
That's it.
We blew up Nord Stream pipeline. That was segment number 1.
And it only gets lighter from here.
Oh, now we're going to go into more fun. We're going to do segment number 2, Agent Orange. So, as I was looking for something to discuss on today's show, I came across Agent Orange. And most of you might know what Agent Orange is. If you're younger, you might not. So I'm going to just tell you what Agent Orange is. But
Hey,
we're going to
Nate.
go
Hey,
into
Michael.
how...
Michael Goldsmith. And
there was
very
more to it
true.
than that, as is the case.
Yeah, and we've mentioned it on the show, but we've never done a deeper dive.
No. So it was a chemical herbicide and defoliant, one of the tactical use rainbow herbicides that the military used during the Vietnam War from 1961 to 1971. And it's a mixture of 2 parts of 2 herbicides, 2,4,5-T and 2,4-D. In addition to its damaging environmental effects, traces of dioxin, mainly TCDD, the most toxic of its type, found in the mixture, have caused major health problems for many individuals who have been exposed and their offspring. So
yeah, and the harm it did was, horrific to the Vietnamese. It also harmed our own troops. And my father, who was a doctor in Vietnam, so he never was on front lines or anything, but he has had a friend or two that died later from cancer that they were almost certain was from Agent Orange, even though they weren't on the front lines. They were treating soldiers who had clothing covered in Agent Orange or whatever.
So that's the thing. It obviously, the goal was to just basically kill all of the jungle plant life so that the Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese couldn't hide because they were very good at jungle warfare. And so we just sprayed this thing that killed everything, and it killed our own soldiers in addition to the Vietnamese. It's hurt their environment. We're still today, and America spends a lot of money working with the Vietnamese to fix this. And of course, America's stance is very much like, yeah, but we're spending money to fix this. Like, you don't get a gold star for paying for the awful thing that you did. It's like, Lee, I came and I smashed up your house and I stole everything. But every day, Lee, I worked to fix it. It's like, yeah, I could have not broken into your house.
Any day now, we're going to have it all fixed.
Yes. And you shouldn't go mad at me. I'm doing the right thing. No. I did the wrong thing. I got caught and now I'm having to pay for it. So
yeah.
But one of the things I wanted to go into first, I wanted to go into what Operation Ranch Hand was. So Operation Ranch Hand was the operation during Vietnam from 62 to 71. And it was largely inspired by the British's use of Agent Orange during the Malayan emergency of the 1950s, which I didn't know, but it's another time like imperialist colonizers messed with a third world country for resources. So I don't even know about what British...
We can never exhaust that list. So there's never a moment like, I know all of the times imperial forces have destroyed native populations.
I got to say, one saving grace is anytime I do, I want to talk about Agent Orange, I realize, there's 3 or 4 separate episodes I could do now. We could do a whole segment on the British in Malaysia in the 1950s. We can talk, it just spins off. There's like a layer of evil after evil after evil. So it was part of the overall herbicidal warfare program during the war called Operation Trail Dust. Ranch Hand involves spraying an estimated 19 million U.S. gallons, which is 72,000 meter gallons, whatever it's called, meters, metric somethings, of defoliant and herbicides.
Meter gallons.
Meter gallons. I
meter
apologize.
Gallons is amazing.
You want to taste some of my meter gallons? I apologize to our international audience.
Feet kilograms. Yeah.
Ounce of grams. It was
kilofeeters, I think.
The free fall just stopped on crypto.
Apologize for being raised in a country that demonized we tried to do the metric system in the 70s and 80s, and it was crushed. And the only thing Americans is 2-liter bottles of soda. That's all we know.
I love that. I can't remember which politician it was, but there was one politician who kind of staked his campaign on, I'm going to switch to the metric system. And it was just so laughed at. Like, all of America was like, you fucking European loser with your kilowatts. Like,
yeah. It's like, yeah, why would you want to use a more efficient system that'll help us in foreign and global trade? Like, dumb America. Well, America, let's be honest. America is the country. This is a famous story. So the quarter pounder, right, of the McDonald's very famous quarter pounder with cheese. In the 70s, I think, or 80s, when the quarter pounder was blown up, A&U, I believe it was A&W, had those drive-in stands. A&W they have a root beer, but they also had car hop stands where A&W sold burgers and fries and malts and stuff like that. So they tried a third pounder to say it's bigger, and Americans thought that the third pounder, they didn't know. They thought the third pounder was smaller.
Quarter pounder sounds pretty awesome.
Because the 4 is bigger than a 3.
No, it came down to
That's
4 is bigger than 3. So Why would I buy the small third pound? Because it's one. Yeah,
That's funny.
That is funny.
that's America.
want the third
So
pounder.
they were like, well, I
Billy
guess
Bob
we have
Thornton.
to name it the
A&W
double
is an
quarter
American
pound,
icon, LOL.
Never
twice
eaten
the
there,
weight
wouldn't
of the
know.
quarter pound.
had Dairy Queen.
The heavier quarter pounder. What?
The heavier quarter pounder plus weight.
The quarter pounder plus more at A&W. So I apologize to our foreign audience. This is what American public education is. You're going to have me say meter gallons. You're going to
meter gallons and kilofeet.
Kilofeet. So as I said, it was 19 million U.S. gallons or 72,000 meter gallons of defoliants and herbicides over rural areas of South Vietnam in an attempt to deprive the Viet Cong of food and vegetation cover. Areas of Laos and Cambodia were also sprayed to a lesser extent. Nearly 20,000 sorties were flown between 1960 and 1971. The ranch handers' motto was, "Only you can prevent
Michael
a forest."
Goldsmith.
And
A&W
Jesus
sucks.
Christ.
right.
Why not combine our fucking genocide we're perpetrating in like a fun kid slogan?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to actually show you this. So this is from the Wikipedia page, but they took one of those. So for those of you who might not know, this was a Smokey the Bear campaign in the 50s and 60s and 70s, even 80s, of like he would say only you can prevent forest fires. So they took this educational tool that was to help kids learn about preventing forest fires, and then they did this. Only you can prevent a forest. That was what they did.
Christ.
And then these are what the planes
First
look like.
of all, I feel like that's copyright infringement. Secondly, I feel like you got to get Smokey to sign off on that.
Yeah, I think they went to Smokey like, look, friend, I don't want us to age him back in your backyard, so why don't you just shut up and put your face on this poster?
Third, I feel like the response should be, only you can prevent imperialism.
So they, took a good PSA that helped me as a kid remember that. And anytime I ever went camping, I got to make sure we don't start a fire.
weren't
And my
even
parents would
using
be
it as a
"Remember what
weapon."
Smokey the Bear said. But in Vietnam, it was like, hey, remember, kids, this is how you destroy an economy and poison its people and our own soldiers. So
Crazy.
Only you can poison the children of Vietnam.
God. During the 10 years of spraying over 5 million acres, which is 20,000.
Graham, you should probably just stop giving the other numbers.
No shit.
Yeah.
Just stop, Graham.
Which
Fucking dumbass.
20,000.
Just read the freaking article, Graham.
Milograms.
Jimmy Carter. Goldsmith, we have one by our
20,000
house. The
meter
girls
yards.
deliver our food on roller skates.
I'm not going to call him Graham anymore from now on. I'm going to call him
forest
Leader.
and 50,000 acres of crops were heavily damaged or destroyed. Around 20% of the forests of South Vietnam were sprayed at least once. Vietnam, by the way, is the size of about Massachusetts.
Wait, can you translate Massachusetts into European measurement? The size of Cornwall.
Size of France.
It's the size of a kilo Cornwall. It's the size of a Wales. Wales a gram. It's the size of a Wales a gram.
The size of a footy stone. You know what's funny is, where is it? In England, they actually say you weigh like something stone, right? So there they actually use something less, like something as stupid as our stuff.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about England. They try to out-stupid us at every turn. I mean, they really try to out-stupid us.
And they succeed.
They've gotten close, but you can't out-down
No,
America.
they succeed.
We're the number one down. Like that's
Oh,
something
my
I take
knee.
great
Fuck
pride
that.
in.
Michael Goldsmith.
So
The root beer is awesome, but the restaurant's
the
food
herbicides are
sucks.
sprayed with
Really?
Air Force.
Because Dairy
The
Queen
planes were
hamburgers are
fitted
pretty
specifically
good. I mean,
with
what they are.
specially developed spray tanks with a capacity of 1,000 U.S. gallons of herbicide. A plane sprayed a swath of land that was 80 meters wide and 16 kilometers.
Don't.
Billy
He's
Ballantyne.
doing it again.
And like it
just say
says,
meters.
I have a $401,000.
It was
Sir,
10
it
miles
says you
long.
have a
I'll just say it was
401k.
10 miles long.
Michael Goldsmith.
And they did this
No,
Lee,
and W.
in about 4.5 minutes
Michael
at a rate of
Goldsmith.
3 U.S. gallons per
A
acre.
and W.
And they usually consisted of 3 to 5 aircraft flying side by side. 95% of the herbicides and defoliants used in the war were sprayed by the
Michael
U.S.
Goldsmith.
Air Force as part of Operation Ranch.
Was responding to Jimmy
The
Carter.
remaining
Sorry, nay.
5% were sprayed by the U.S. Chemical Corps, which I didn't even had such a thing.
Oh my God, I did
Jimmy
a,
Carter.
was
Maybe
it,
it's the people preparing
Did we do
it. Ha ha
government
ha.
secrets?
Did
I
you
think we
forget to
did.
tip Michael?
but it was so long ago. It was about the chemical department, and in World War II, they were getting ready to like. They were, oh maybe it was World War One, but they were amassing the tons of chemical. Oh, they came up with napalm and stuff, and they were getting ready to use it, and then the war ended, and they got upset that their victims had been stolen from them.
Yeah. It was produced,
Michael
Agent Orange
Goldsmith.
was produced by 9
Hooters should do
chemical
the roller
companies,
skating
including
thing.
Dow
Then,
Chemical,
ha 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 ha.
our good friends Monsanto,
Yep.
who've been bought by Bayer, and now they don't even use the name Monsanto. So Diamond Shamrock Corporation.
Monsanto was so toxic as a brand that they've been bought by a literal Nazi company that got its start during the Nazis, and that's better. People view that as less
Lesser of the two
horrible.
evils, right?
Bayer, which was like, we covered it on the show, it was like doing, pharmaceutical Nazi research,
Yeah.
bought up Monsanto, and everyone was like, Bayer's a better name than Monsanto. Like, let's...
Bear sounds like a good company.
Come on, Harmony.
Thomson Hayward Chemical, United States Rubber Company, Thompson Chemical Co., Hoffman Taft Chemicals, and Arja Select. The government of Vietnam says that 4 million people in Vietnam were exposed to the defoliant, and as many as 3 million people have suffered illnesses because of Agent Orange, while the Vietnamese Red Cross estimated up to 1 million people were disabled or have health problems as a result of exposure to Agent Orange. The United States describes these figures as unreliable. Oh, shut up, criminal. Like, I don't...
The CIA responded by saying none of that's true.
Yeah. I don't... If Jeffrey Dahmer was alive today, I really wouldn't care what his, hey, I didn't boil that many skulls. Like, I'm sorry, Jeff, you kind of lost it.
It reminds me of when Israel came after Bernie Sanders because he said they had killed 500 Palestinian children or whatever. And I'm getting the numbers wrong, but they came back and they said, that is completely false. We've only killed 56 Palestinian children last year.
Right. Oh, so much better.
Okay.
Michael Goldsmith.
Great.
So much better.
Awesome.
I like these guys.
I mean, the fact that them are only
They're friends of the
boiled
show.
and skull fucked, not as many victims. I rest easy. I sleep well knowing that it wasn't as bad as they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
The documented cases of leukemia, Hodgkin's lymphoma, and various kinds of cancer in exposed U.S. military veterans. An epidemiological study done by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention showed that there was an increase in the rate of birth defects of children of the military as a result of Agent Orange.
Yep.
Over 3.1 million hectares of forest were defoliated. Defoliants eroded tree cover and sending forest stock, making reforestation difficult in numerous areas. Animal species diversity is sharply reduced in contrast with unsprayed areas. And so there's a bunch of legal actions that have happened. But I want to go to this. Lee,
Yes.
It was not the first time the United States has used Agent Orange.
Really?
Yeah. They started using it in the 1940s. Do you want to know where?
Yeah.
The Midwest.
It was produced in the United States from the late 1940s and was used in industrial agriculture and also sprayed along railroads and power lines to control undergrowth in forests. So we started using it in America And
To do what?
Food and health.
you're,
Like AL's hot sauce.
you're just like, wait, how bad has this been and evil? We did it to we used it in industrial agriculture, so we've been using it since the 1940s here in the United States. So big industrial farms, and was also
to kill the Vietnamese on the farms.
No, we tested it on our own people. It was sprayed along railroads and power lines here in the United States to control undergrowth in forests.
Good.
So,
I mean, it had all gone so well in Vietnam. Why not bring it home?
well, no, we did that in the 1940s. We started it here. We started it here in the 1940s, and then went, wow, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Might as well take it over to Vietnam and destroy a whole country and our own
Food
soldiers
and health.
3 million of their citizens.
Wait, what?
I mean, it also shows how much our ruling elite give a shit about our soldiers. Like, I'm sure they knew that fucking hosing them down in this toxic chemical wouldn't be good, to say the least.
Right.
But they didn't care. They were cannon fodder to begin with.
They don't.
So what he's saying is, we already had experience with Agent Orange. We used it in our own country.
And this goes back
Probably
to
already knew what it
herbicides
would
were
do to
developed as
people
part
if
of
we
efforts
used it
by
over
the United
there. We
States
used
and
it
the
anyway.
United Kingdom to create herbicidal weapons during World War II. In 1943, the United States Department of Army contracted botanist and bioethicist Arthur Galston, who discovered the defoliants used in Agent Orange, and his employer, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, to study the effects of D4D and D4T on cereal grains, including rice and broadleaf crops. While a graduate and postgraduate student at the University of Illinois, Galston's research and dissertation focused on finding a chemical means to make soybeans, flour, and fruit earlier. He discovered that both the 2,3,5-triazoxalic acid, TIBA, would speed up the flowering of soybeans, and that in higher concentrations it would defoliate the soybeans.
Huh.
From these studies arose the concept of using aerial applications of herbicides to destroy enemy crops to disrupt their food supply.
Enemies.
In 1945, the U.S. Army ran tests of various 2,4-D and 2,4,5-T mixtures at the Bushnell Army Airfield in Florida. As a result, the U.S. began full-scale production and would have used it against Japan in 1946 during Operation Downfall if the war had continued. So we were set to use it in Japan, but we know from history
I knew this would come back to Florida. I just knew it. There's no way this doesn't come back to Florida.
Florida has such a tangled web.
It's always
of
Florida.
problems that it's not surprised that Agent Orange was somehow involved. They were going to use this against Japan in 46, but instead of poisoning their crops and their citizens, and we just decided to drop a bomb that you showed on this program was not needed. So in the years after,
there was a big internal debate on which genocidal maniac fucking device to test on Japan.
Yeah. So we very lovingly didn't use the long-term one. We just used the big awful one because this one with that one.
No, but the nuclear bombs created cancer in a lot of people as well.
Oh, okay, good. So great.
I know you were worried about that.
I was worried. It's good to see that they're both toe-to-toe in creating ancillary cancer. In the years after the war, the United States realized Agent Orange was bad and never wanted to do it again, and it was used in Vietnam as a mistake. No, that's not what
the U.S. realized that it was horrible what they did, and they never did it again.
And everyone apologized, and
apologies all around.
And the Vietnam War didn't happen because the CIA didn't kill Kennedy, and he made sure it didn't happen. And that's why we're leading the way for peace, and we're all going on a trip to Ukraine because it's always been peace there, thanks to the United States. The U.S. after World War II tested 1,100 compounds, and field trials of more promising ones were done at British stations in Australia. Yay, Britain! In order to establish their effects in tropical conditions, as well as the U.S. testing ground in Florida. Between 1950 and 1952, trials were conducted in a bunch of Tanganyika.
Explains a lot.
Yes, right.
Explains a lot.
And they tested this in all of these foreign places. And during 1952 to 53, the unit supervised aerial spraying in Kenya to assess the value of defoliants in eradication of the tsetse fly, I'm sure. Yeah. So it's again, it started way before, and we tested it. We used it just in agriculture. We used it to clear a way for rail lines, and we tested it on our own military in Florida in the 50s, and we tested it in other poor countries. So,
also, it is you can find it in moderate amounts in Frosted Flakes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, but it would surprise me. They found that it was tangy, you know.
Yeah, if that were to happen and they found out, which we're not saying it is, we're just joking, but if they found out there was something in Frosted Flakes that was like arsenic or whatever, these 4D chemicals or T, whatever, they would go, ooh, maybe we should start spreading. Then they're going to start, dropping Frosted Flakes over Venezuela or whatever country won't give us their resources.
Yep.
So that's the United States' rich, long history of Agent Orange. United States, the champion of murder.
I like how he does that.
Oh, well done, man. I think we did some good work here.
I think we did as well.
We've revealed U.S. war crimes of yesterday and of today.
We like to celebrate the past, but I also want to celebrate what's happening today. Like we just found out that Joe Biden and his staff lied and committed an act of war that is potentially putting the entire human race at risk of extinction. So we really thank you, Joe Biden. And this is one of the reasons me personally was not dancing in the streets when he became president. Weird. Yeah. I was glad Trump was gone, but then we replaced one fascist with another. So, and folks, we have a new bonus segment on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/government secrets. It is This Week in Government Secrets. It is there. It'll be up in a couple minutes. Please sign up. We appreciate you joining. And I've got some tour dates coming up here. I'm going to be in Maui. That ticket link is going to be up in Maui. Actually, that ticket link is up on Maui, April 27th. And I'll be at Kona and Oahu, April 28th and 29th. Those ticket links will be up soon. And I have a ticket link that is currently up.
I know that car anywhere, bro.
May 11th, and I will have the Tucson ticket link up May 12th. More shows, more tickets. And in late April, we'll be doing a live, anything can happen in front of a live audience, and it'll be available as a paid live stream. We're pitching that game show that Lee and Eleanor have been on. So stay tuned for that. Sign up to my newsletter at grahamelwood.com and like and subscribe to everything that I'm doing.
Dude, your tour sounds amazing. It's like I'll be playing the British Virgin Islands and then Rio de Janeiro, and then that the fake Palm Tree Island in Dubai. I'll be playing that on Tuesday.
I just figure, why not do shows where it's awesome, so.
I hear you. Not a lot of Lubbock, Texas on your tour dates. Why is that?
Not yet. I will eventually go to Lubbock, and thank you to all our fans in Lubbock. I will be there soon.
Well, folks, I have lots of good stuff at leecamp.net. New episode of Most Censored News, where I reveal the top 10 ways you know that the United States is a rogue nation out of step with the entire world. So check that out. It's all at leecamp.net. And, and I actually have 3 podcasts. There's this one, Government Secrets, then there's Common Censored, and then there's Moment of Clarity, although Spotify banned me, so now I've renamed it The Lee Camp Show.
God, what is there a platform you haven't been banned on? I mean,
I have a LinkedIn Live hour that actually is running pretty strong. I'm actually one of the top live streams on Friendster. So,
oh no, Friendster is great. My Friendster audience is just blowing up. No, it's funny. I mean, I shouldn't talk. I can't live stream on TikTok anymore.
Wait, what did they? Because we said the word Nazi.
Yeah, we were live streaming this show on TikTok, and we talked about Nazis being bad, and they just said you can't say that word.
They just said you cannot say Nazis are bad.
Dude, that was so badass, Cyber.
They're not all bad guys. This
Yeah,
you
you
guys,
guys chainsaw down the skull, man.
And he's still alive.
Yeah. We should
Yeah.
total up all of the platforms you and I have been
There it is.
banned on.
He's still there.
Just list them as the credits roll. These are where you can't watch these guys. It's just
Yeah, you know, one time when I was talking to Chris Hedges, I was like, oh, Chris, you've been banned from 3 separate major outlets.
The doggy's hurt.
2 of them, because what you were saying, and I was with you on both of these. I was with you at both of these outlets because what you were saying got the entire outlet banned, like destroyed. Truth Dig and RT America, and I was with him on both of those, and on both of those, we were some of the main reasons that it got banned. But he also, of course, was pushed out at the New York Times. That didn't destroy their outlet. But he then goes, well, yeah, Lee, you're forgetting one. I was also at Telesur before they made that. They sanctioned Telesur into oblivion in the United States. It still exists, but.
well.
Shit, this game's crazy.
I just said this
Did
is on
you
my
just
show,
buy this?
so I haven't had any.
It came with the mouse. When I bought the mouse, I
deplatforming
got
fallout yet, but you
in the
know, so
confirmation
watch my
email
interview
there
with
was
Chris
a
Hedges, go to my
Steam
YouTube
code
channel,
on I
Off
could
the Political
redeem,
Vigilante,
and it
you
was
can
this
see
game
the
now.
Hedges interview before it gets taken away.
Wow, this game's pretty cool, bro. Oh my god, I gotta tell my friend Jeff about
All right,
this.
man. Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you, everybody. This has been Government Secrets, episode 112. Nordstream Truth and Agent Orange Rich Fabulous History.
1,000 kilo-feet hours of solid content.
Hectofeet of whatever.
Inch fathoms up your buttocks.
Inch fathoms. Oh man, I picked up an inch fathom hiking through the jungle. Anyway, buddy, thank you.
Later.
All right, bye. Lee Cab, everybody. Thank you for celebrating our show. That's right. All right. Thank you, everybody watching. Hit the like button, share it out on your social media. Again, if you're a Lee Camp subscriber, please subscribe to my channel. And if you're subscribe to my channel, make sure you subscribe to Lee's. I know a lot of you subscribe to both of us, but it helps when, you guys, the analytics help our show very much. And of course, if you're listening, give it a positive review and all that stuff. So we appreciate everybody. If you go on over to patreon.com/government secrets, you can see there's the link right there.
Thanks, Graham. We had fun watching you and Lee, bro.
24, soon to be 20.
You were awesome, bro. Okay, now let's get Cyber on full screen here. What is this all
It's the same game we were playing yesterday, eh, Cyber?
Yeah, I started over. I only played about 15, 20 minutes yesterday. And then I just set my mouse up to the keys in the game, so give it another try. Completed, what was it I played yesterday? Dying Light 2, I completed Dying Light 2.
I think it's famous.
Nick Brown. Hashtag keep it open. Nick Brown. Hashtag cybergaming.
Hey, Nick. Oh.
Game over that fast.
Yeah, I didn't parry. I kept using E to parry. Wrong button.
Cool game. It's cool looking. It's an older game, right? You said it was 2016 or something?
Yeah, I think it's from 16, yeah.
At that time, this would have been like...
Huh.
There you go. Well, yeah, it's like you said, they kind of have that Red Dead Redemption 1 kind of look over it.
Yeah. Do you remember Red Dead Redemption 1? If you shot somebody, the wound on their head was so exaggerated, it was ridiculous.
No, I never played Red Dead 1.
If you shot somebody, there would be like an exit wound, and it would be like the size of a coffee can. If, and you'd get in draws, and you'd shoot somebody like 5 times in the head, and the back of their head would just be like this mush of like, it was a glitch kind of thing. Ridiculous, like overkill.
The Red Dead 1, it never came to PC, so.
Okay. That's right, yeah, it's true. Yeah. PlayStation, right? Yeah.
Fuck, I get off that.
And then the first one, if you put people like, you can hogtie people. In the second one, if you put them down the train tracks and a train.
Oh yeah, I know that. Oh yeah, yeah.
Pieces of them fly everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was,
I think I have 300 or 400 hours in Red Dead 2, so yeah.
I tried it in Red Dead 2 and it just knocked them out. It just pushed them to the side, but I didn't get them right in the middle of the train.
No. You can literally tie them up and you can lay them on the tracks. You can also tie them to the tracks, if I remember right.
Oh, I got it. So good.
You can also tie them up and throw them to a crocodile or something.
Yeah, right. I was thinking of that because I ran into a crocodile.
Nick Brown. I miss playing Call of Duty with you and Nay.
Yeah, I haven't played Call of Duty much lately. I admit that.
What's up, Harles?
Got some wedding cake here. It's pretty good.
Is he licking oil off a dipstick?
Yeah. And looking like Quasimodo or whatever his name is. Quasimodo.
It looks like Chunk from freaking the Goonies.
Oh.
Yeah.
His name is Chum Bucket.
Yep. It looks like Chunk, bro. The hair's the same way. It's funny. Let's see if his teeth are the same way. Yeah, I like how he just moves that like completely steel door, just like tosses it over to the side like it's nothing. Look at that thing, bro. What? Hell yeah. Stop it.
We should smoke a
Jimmy
bong.
Carter. He's got a doggy. It's little
do it.
Rogie.
Man, all right. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, Cyber.
Nick
Cheers,
Brown.
Jim. Cheers, everybody in the chat.
ID Chunk and Quasimodo had a kid.
I got this hybrid because it's nice to smoke it and not feel like I want
Nick
to fall
Brown.
asleep right after.
If asterisk.
Nice. Cheers, bro. Cheers, everybody.
Oh, I smoked it in for like a week. Sleeping all day. Oh, God. How much THC?
Bitcoin is definitely seeing some good price action. What you can see here is that every bear market here has been 13 months. From the all-time high in 2013, way back. From the all-time high to the bear market bottom, 13 months.
Why do they call it the bear market? What does that mean? I don't know what it means, but why do they call it that?
Stop it.
Is it an abbreviation or something?
All right, listen, guys, I'm out here. I'll see you tonight. No law regarding. Oh, not no law regarding. Thanks for watching. Love y'all. I will see you later. Take care. No law regarding me not knowing what to say at the end.
Jimmy Carter. The bear comes and takes all your money.
Okay. Thanks.